Hey everybody, and welcome back to the channel. Today we have a very interesting install from our friends over at tesstudio, and this is going to be the accent light bar that goes between your headlights for this Cybertruck. I'm really excited to get this one done. Don't forget to look in the description below to see how you can get some great discounts on this particular device and other discounts on other Tesla accessories below in the description, and we'll talk to you again soon. Hey everybody, and welcome back. So here we have the components of the accent light bar. There's not much to it, quite frankly. We're just going to run some wires through the vehicle. It's not going to be much at all. The hardest part is just going to be taking off a little bit of the paneling in the passenger compartment, but I promise you that's going to be real simple, and I'm going to show you how to do it. All right, so here we have the accent bar. The accent bar itself is the lighted bar that's going to go across in the front of the vehicle. Alongside that, we have the Bluetooth module that's going to hook into the fuse harness inside the vehicle. This wire is going to connect the inside basically to the outside, and this is what's going to give our light bar power. We're going to hook that into the headlight system. Other than that, you just have some tape that's going to help you feed the wires through this little pole right here, and a trim tool. And that's all that's in the kit. Okay, so here we are at the frunk, and we're going to remove the frunk, and to start, we're going to take off the top applique here, and then we're going to take a few bolts out, and the whole thing's just going to come out after we disconnect with like one wire. These are all the tools we're going to need: a ratchet, 10 millimeter ratchet, and a trim tool. That's it. So here's how this is going to go. We're going to come up here and we're going to remove the top applique. If you watched my light bar install, then you know what we're getting ready to do here. This whole applique that's here is going to come up. This thing pulls straight up. It's just held in there by some clips. And we remove it just like that. We're going to come down here, and we're going to remove this cover that's right here in the frunk. And this cover, just going to pop that up there just like that, hides two screws. We're going to take these two screws out. Use our little ratchet. Take that out by hand now. Put that aside there. That one goes right there. I'm going to come over here to the other side, do the exact same thing. There's our panel. Remove that. Put that one aside. There we go. Put that there. Okay. Those are done. So now all we need to do is rotate these counterclockwise. Rotate it counterclockwise, and that comes out just like that. And you just do it on the other side. There we go. That's all there is to it. And that comes out of there. We've got to take this cover off here, just like this. You can see where it's underneath the frunk there. It's not supposed to be there. This is supposed to come right off, just like this. There we go. Put that there. There are a couple more bolts on the back here that we got to release. There's one there, and there's one over here. That should be it. There we go. One, and then one more. It's a lot easier with the correct tools. And this is just, like I said, a 10 millimeter wrench. That's all it is. Nothing fancy. Boom, there we go. We can go ahead and pull the frunk out, but before we pull it all the way out, we've got to disconnect the emergency release button. So we pull up. The whole thing wants to come on out. There's a wire over here we have to watch for. Make sure I don't yank on it. And we are going to disconnect this wire right here. And the way we do that is, believe it or not, we're just going to pull on it. There we go. It just pulls straight out, no clip. So now the frunk is completely disconnected. And we're just going to set it aside. Oh boy. Okay, so the frunk is out now. So what we're going to do, we're going to remove the front panel where the accent light bar is actually going to go. So here's what we need to do. This is the panel that we're getting ready to remove. If you look real carefully here, we have 4 clips. 1, 2, 3, 4. They're just clipped in there, and then this whole thing is going to pull out. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to push down on the clip, and that comes out just like that. Like that. And the last one, we're going to pull. So in order to get these out, you actually got to tug on it a little bit and push down at the exact same time. And so it's actually really easy, came out fairly easy. What we're getting ready to do right now that we have this bar out, before we can completely remove it, we've got to remove this button right here. This is our frunk button that we normally have. In order to remove it, we're going to have to pull out on this little tab, and then the whole thing will be able to be removed at that point. So now that we got that taken off, now we're going to take the button off. It has 2 clips here on the side, on either side of it, and we're just going to take that off.
Ah, there it is. That clip was just a little stuck. Difficult, but not impossible. That's definitely a pain point, but now it's time to get the other side off. There we go.
Okay. Truth be told, you just have to bend it all the way back. I was afraid that it would crack and break like a lot of the smaller clips that they have on this vehicle, but it didn't break. So that was mostly me being very, very cautious about this. Okay, so we have our accent bar. We have our button that we just disconnected. And now we're going to attach the light bar to the vehicle with the button. So the first thing we're going to do,
we're actually going to put the button back in the same bracket.
You can see here, this is the bracket, just like the other one.
And hopefully it's a lot easier than the first time around. Put it in here, and it should slide right on in. I'm just going to press it in there.
Boom, it clicks, and that's how it fits. I will make mention that the hole that you put in here, make sure as you're looking at it,
because I'm looking down on top of it, it's to my right.
So this whole thing is now going to go into the front of the vehicle, just like the other one had 4 clips on it. 1, 2, 3, 4. This one is going to slide right where that one was at. So we're going to take this plastic off here. Okay, pro tip here. I just figured out how this clip actually works. You're going to put it in, and you're going to press the gray button. But to get it off, after you pulled it all the way out, guess what? You press down on the gray. That lifts up this other black piece, and you pull it off just like that. It comes off very easily. You just got to know how to do it. I wish I had known that earlier. That was not in the instructions. So you push it and reattach it with the gray clip. That's a safety clip.
And we're going to take these wires, this wire,
and we're going to
pass it through before we put this whole thing in.
We're going to pass the wires through here so that we'll have access to them here in a moment. You'll be able to see how this whole thing slides in. All these clips are going to go in here, just like this. It snapped in all at once. And here we have our wiring out the backside for it. Okay, now that the accent bar is installed, now we've got to give it power. So we're going to hook this harness into our headlight. And so this is what we're gonna do. Here's our headlight right here. Once again, we have one of these lovely pins that we're just gonna pull out and pull that out, push down. Now that I know how these things are working. And this whole thing's gonna pull out, just like that. So we're gonna take this one, and now we're gonna plug it into the harness that came with the light bar into there. Then we're gonna take the other part of this, plug it back in the right where we got it. Heard the click. Lock it in place with the gray tab. Bring this wire. I'm gonna run it, I'm gonna be nice and run it underneath some stuff here. And it's gonna plug into the light bar right here. Boom, ooh, jeez. Boom, there we go. It's plugged in. And this last one, this is what's gonna run into the cabin. And I'll show you how to get that in just a moment. So let's go into the cabin. Okay, so here we are at the passenger door, and now that we got the frunk out and we got the accent light bar actually installed with and some power going to it, now we got to come in here and wire the rest of it into the truck. And we do that by going through this little panel here in the passenger side of the truck. So
we're going to take this out, and you start by taking this little panel out right here. There's a couple clips that you undo from there, 2 more clips on the other side. And it just pops out.
Just like that. See? Pops out. That's step 1. Put that aside. Actually, it's going to grab up here. You see how all of this stuff is put together here? Just remember how that looks so that we know how to put it back together. We're just going to pull down on this. It just pulled out of the clip there. There's the clip that it just pulled out of, and there's a little notch that it goes in there too. And we're just going to pull down on it. We're going to get it out of the way of right there. And we're just going to pull this back. And this whole piece just pulls back just like this. Now, if you guys remember from the C9 video that we did, this is the exact same thing that we did on that, where we came in here and there was a little hidden clip that we had to actually take apart before we could actually get under there. And we were going to wind up taking that apart as well. There we go. Got that pin. And now this whole thing comes down like this. Now, if you guys remember from the C9 video, if you went and checked out that video, I reference that one a lot, don't I? This is actually a harness that we put in that is a bypass for the regular cable that goes in here. So this is actually the C9 cable. And believe it or not, we're going to try to tap into that and, well, put another splitter in there of all things. So we're going to pull this out of here. There we go. Starting to move now. There we go. That pops out of there just like that. And there's the port that we're going to go into. So let's get our cable and we're going to put it back together. All right, so here's the cable for the accent bar. This is our cable that came out of this plug right here. Remember, this is our C9 cable, so that's why it's a different color. But this is going to plug into it just like this. There it goes. It slides down in there. We're just going to tuck that away. This cable is going to slide up right where we brought it out of. So here we go. We're going to tuck that down there. It's getting tight down here. And it's going to slide right back up in here, just like this. There we go. Just locked in. And this, we'll take care of that in a moment. That's the Bluetooth module. This piece we're going to take out here, just like that, and it's going to plug in here. And then we're going to take this and plug it in here, just like that. And this, we're going to take the little sticky piece off the back
we're just going to place it right here. That's the Bluetooth module. Let's tuck our wires away. And this part we're going to connect in just a moment. And this is where we're going to start feeding our cable at. So we're getting ready to connect this wire to the wire that we've just installed. Eventually it's going to go like this, but before we can do that, we need to run it through the door first, just to make this a lot easier. It's going to go through this little port right here that has a little rubberized cap on it. We're just going to peel that off just like that and put it aside. Then we're going to take the wire and we're going to feed it down, 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 and it's going to come out the bottom here in a moment. I think I got a hold of it. I do have a hold of it. Look at that.
Now that we have the wire fed down, we're going to go ahead and plug it in just like this.
And it just snaps in. Snaps in just like that.
All right, so we're ready to feed our cord through to the frunk. We're going to feed it up front. And guys, here's this really fancy threading tool they gave us. It's a curtain rod, really. Curtain rod. Can't make this stuff up. Any case, hey, if it works, it works. We're going to put this on here just like this, and we're going to put the electrical tape on it, and we're going to secure the wire to the curtain rod. I'm sorry, the fishing tool, just like this. So we're going to feed this through this little weather stripping right here. We're going to push our little curtain rod through, and it's going to come out the other side of the frunk. And so we're just going to, I'm going to move it out of the way just a little bit, and oh, there we go. Move it out of the way just a little bit. And this is a two-handed operation for sure. Ah, there we go. Just use a little force. Okay, so we got it threaded through here.
We're just going to go ahead and take it right through the frunk, and I'm just going to put it underneath several of the different cords here. Make it all look nice and neat like.
And this, at the end of the day, plugs in right into our light bar right here. There we go. Boom, and it clicks in there like that. And it's connected.
So now, I'll tell you what, before I throw all of this stuff back together, we're going to test it out first and make sure this thing lights up the way it's supposed to before, while we still have everything disassembled and we can make some changes. All right, here we go. Cross fingers. 3, 2, 1. Now that we know our light bar is working, we can go ahead and turn that back off, and we're going to get everything put back together and we'll be done. Okay, so remember this piece right here? This is the little rubber spot that came out from the hole that's over here on the side. In the installation videos, they basically have you leaving it like that. I don't feel comfortable having it exposed like that because water could get in there and it has the potential to have water drip down into the vehicle. So here's what we're going to do. I'm going to reinstall this, and while it may not be a perfect fit, what I'm going to use is the PVC tape that came with the kit, and I'm going to tape it in there, and that should waterproof it enough so that no water can leak in. We are going to tape this in. And what I'm trying to do is make sure I not only make sure that the rubber stopper stays in, I'm also trying to make sure that the tape seals the holes. I'm pretty confident no water's getting in there. How long that'll hold, we'll see. I may need to patch it up again later, but
We'll keep an eye on it and see what happens. Okay, we're going to put the lower panel back together now.
Okay, so I had to move the Bluetooth module because where they have it at in the video and all that, it doesn't allow the panel to close properly. So I've moved it down and hopefully that will work. I've just hidden it a little bit better, that's all. I actually placed the module behind the bracket where it was mounted before, which is going to work out. It's behind a little styrofoam piece because where they had it mounted up at the top before, the bracket didn't want to close properly. So we just put it down a little bit lower and behind everything. All right, we're going to put our pin back in, which goes right here. There we go. Push that in. That pin's back in. Now we're going to start closing this back up. Just got to make sure our pins line up and get this back in here. Get our weather stripping all redone. And now we get the last piece in here. Remember last time we pinched this one and they're going to go into these little brackets here. And let's get our weather stripping over that. All that's back in place. So all that's left to do now is replace the frunk. Let's get it done.
All right, so we got everything wired up. We got the interior done. Now we just got to put the frunk back in. It should be pretty easy. Cross fingers. All right, just got to line our holes up. That's the big thing. Use that water. Make sure we line our holes up. It just slid on right well, but there's one thing we forgot to do. Emergency frunk switch. Take this wire, connect it back in. Just pushes right back in there. Our frunk's reconnected, and now we just set it back down. All right. Where's the first one? The first one's over here. Might as well reinstall our washer gasket. There we go. Gasket's reinstalled. And we can now get the bottom screws back in. And we have the last two bolts here. These go in here just like this. Yeah, it goes to the stop. Yeah, those are simple bolts that don't let it slide. Get the other side. There we go. Make sure all this stuff lines up. Make sure the weather stripping goes underneath. It all locks into place. And last but not least, put our covers back into place. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is how you put a frunk back into a Cybertruck.
and we are done. What do you say we go test this out?
Well, that was a fun install. It took a little bit longer than we had planned, only because, you know, sometimes these instructions aren't as clear as they should be, and sometimes the videos aren't as clear as they should be, which is the reason why we do these videos. We try to show you all the things that they do not. But all in all, it's a good install, and the end product looks wonderful. I am very happy with it. Everything plugged in, worked exactly the way that they said it was gonna work, and I'm very happy with this product. So if you want to get the Accent Lightbar, look in the description below. I put a link down there, and there are other links to great discounts on other Tesla accessories. So go on and check those out, and check out the other videos as well that I've done. Otherwise, don't forget to like and subscribe, and we'll talk to you again soon. Peace.